and that's why R2-D2 is the hottest droid in Star Wars. Thanks for watching. Oh. Oh, hello. You're not supposed to, be here. Okay, well, while I got you, go watch Star Wars Andor. Go watch it, like right now. Do you have a Disney Plus account? Log in. If you don't, create one. With what money? I don't know. Beg someone. Just ask a friend. Steal it from online. I don't care. Get a Disney Plus account so you can watch Star Wars Andor. So hello, you're probably wondering, this is a little weird video to make about Star Wars Andor. Usually it's either a podcast or a video essay. What am I doing? Well, I must confess to you all, I had a fully scripted, partially edited Andor video that was gonna go over like what it's really about, the bigger themes of the show and all that. And then I reread my script and I realized it was hot garbage, and I wanted to make an Andor video before the finale comes out, which is, by this point, today's Friday and it'll be next Wednesday. And I don't want to spend all that time rewriting a script and editing it. I just want to talk about Andor. I will eventually make a full deep dive into Andor. I'll take it like 3 episodes at a time. But, you know, I just decided, why not I just take this moment at 12 o'clock at night on a Saturday and just get my thoughts out about Andor. So, first of all, what do I think of Star Wars Andor? It is easily the best Star Wars show. Like, the best Star Wars show on Disney Plus. The best Star Wars show, I think, period. I think it's just really good. Way better than Obi-Wan. Way better than Mandalorian Season 2. Way better than Book of Boba Fett. Way better than Clone Wars. Way better than Tales of the Jedi. I think Visions, if you count... If we're going to compare animation... I think Visions slightly goes over Andor for me, but that's just because Visions was just like a special little thing. But yeah, anyway, Star Wars Andor is a brilliant show. I love it to death, and I'm just happy I get to exist in a world where a popular like IP like Star Wars has a well-made quality show that can stand on its own and doesn't need to rely on the Star Wars brand to be important or be special or be remembered. There's no tying back to other, like, beyond, I guess, Diego Luna and some Rogue One cast members, I guess. You don't need to, like, know about Evan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, the guy that's playing Boba Fett. It's just so good to finally have a Star Wars show that's good first, great first, and then worry about Star Wars later. And that's so weird to me, honestly, saying that out loud, because you don't really say that a lot of times. I don't know. I feel like I'm crazy. Like, what I'm talking about, what I'm praising about Andor is like the bare minimum. It's what like shows like should be, like, barely, you know, great production design, great scripts, great acting. Like, that's just like basic. That's basic things you can do. And I guess it's just because compared to the other Star Wars shows, this show is just so much better. But I want to get a little bit into that, because I feel like if I explain it, it'll make more sense to you and to me. First of all, I want to talk about the reason why this show got made, which was entirely on accident. The way it was made now was entirely on accident, much like Rogue One, because Tony Gilroy, famous screenwriter, famous writer, creative person, he was brought on to reshoot and rewrite some of the dialogue for Rogue One, and I think he ended up doing a significant portion of the movie. He almost changed the entire movie. I believe in his own words, Disney was a mess and he came in and fixed it, and he only got a screenwriter credit, which is why he was able to sleep at night. Essentially, he was able to work on Rogue One kind of like stress-free for the most part, and he very much enjoyed the experience. But he doesn't like Star Wars, Tony Gilroy. He's not like a Star Wars guy. He doesn't care really at all about Star Wars. I think Disney wanted to make an Andor show, but they kept on trying, kept on failing, and they tried bringing in Tony Gilroy back to do a Star Wars thing. He kept on saying no, and I think they sent him a script of like the first episode of Andor, or at least like an outline of the first season, and Tony Gilroy sent back a manifesto of what season 1 what should be in an Andor show, and then he eventually just signed on to work on the project. Maybe the better phrase is, it's not like the other Star Wars shows or movies. Because starting from when Disney bought Star Wars, episodes 7, 8, and 9, the sequel trilogy, they feel sort of like disconnected. Like, each individual movie doesn't feel like they all like smoothly align themselves well. And in the shows, I kind of feel that too, except it's more like the shows just like are bad. Like, they're not great, and you can easily tell why. I think for Obi-Wan, having it not be a movie, have it be chopped up into 6 episodes, and just like a really poor cinematography, CG, the stagecraft stuff I thought wasn't done too well. I thought it felt like kind of like they had to make an Obi-Wan show, not that they wanted to make an Obi-Wan show. Boba Fett, I feel like Boba Fett tried too much to be Mandalorian, so much that they actually had like a Mandalorian episode in there. And also deepfake Luke was horrible. Like, I don't like deepfake Luke, but the point is that I feel like Boba Fett's story was kind of not rushed, just not told as effectively as it could have been, because I thought the ideas were very strong. Like, taking this character who's mostly a bounty hunter, have him have a fall from grace, pick up right when he fell from grace, and then have him rise up to be this leader of this town is interesting. It's a very interesting story, and I felt like they didn't execute it that well. Again, there's no baggage. There's nothing outside the show you need to know. I guess you could know that in what happens in Rogue One, but you don't really need to. The show never really brings it up, which is nice. It's a refreshing change of pace. I think the character Cassian Andor is also the most interesting one. In Rogue One, I thought he was pretty good, but in this show, he's very interesting. Just talking about the production design, because I just want to move on to that. I believe the production design, the main lead production designer, Luke Hull, worked on Chernobyl. And I've heard a lot of good things about Chernobyl. I haven't seen it yet, but that's probably why Andor is so good, because it's from the guy that did Chernobyl. I've also heard that recently from an interview on The Watch that he was actually in the writer's room alongside the writers as they were breaking down these episodes. So that like cohesion of creativity is why I believe part of the reason why the production design is so good, because both the writers and the guy that's creating your sets and props and stuff, or is in charge of it at least, like there's like a back and forth, there's an understanding. It just, you could feel it. I don't know how to describe it, but like watching Andor walking through that junkyard at the end of episode 2 like gave me chills, not just because of the music composed by Nicholas Berletti, who worked on Succession. It's just you could feel him walking. Like, he's walking. It's not like green screen, it's not blue screen. If it is, I don't notice, but it's not like shot to like compensate for like a dome. It's like he's just walking. And like the town of Ferrix, when they're in Aldani and they're walking up the hills, or when the prison, Niamo, Star Wars, Florida, it's just to see characters walking in real places. I'm like, and like it's shot to capture like as much of it as they can, because it's they want to show off because it's very impressive. It's just like refreshing. It's just nice to finally have like a thing that like looks good and decent on my television screen. Disney Plus shows, I think, have been trying to look like movies. They've been trying to look like movies because they do the cinema bars, they use wider lenses, and they look like movies. My problem is that they don't feel like movies to me. They feel like shows that are pretending to be movies, which is why I think part of the reason why some of them may not be as good as they could have been. Trying to have a TV budget for a movie look, and you can totally do that. That's totally fine, but don't pretend that you're a movie. You're a television show, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually a great thing. That's a freeing thing. You can do so much with the television medium that you can't do with the movie medium. When you're pretending to be a movie, why not you just be a movie? There's a line between televisions and movies, and I feel like the Disney Plus shows are like constantly flip-flopping between the two. This is gonna be hell in my autofocus. The way Andor is structured is that for every writer and director, there are 3 episodes where there's a writer and a director just attached to 3 episodes. I think that's probably the best way they could have gone about this, because Andor is 12 episodes. It's not 10, it's not 6. Thank God we've avoided a Hawkeye scenario. For the most part, they're trying to stick with this 3 episode structure, and it kind of is a 3 episode season. Like, the first 3 episodes is the beginning and Andor in Ferrix, and then the next 3 episodes is Andor and Aldani. Episodes 8, 9, and 10 are the prison arc, and then that's Andor in the Narkina 5 prison. I think that's interesting. I think that's that was a very ingenious way of breaking down this show, because that way you can have basically, like, I just said this, 3 mini movies in this show, but they don't feel like it's a show split into a movie. It feels like a show that just you could put these episodes into a movie, which is great. And on top of that, somehow, despite Andor jumping around into a bunch of places, they still have like a ensemble cast. They still have cast members from last episode be in the next episode. That's so cool. I love that idea. You know what? Even if the finale sucks, even if the finale is like dog shit and everyone hates it, I still think the first 11 episodes are beautiful and are completely like worth your time, 100%. I don't know. It's Tony Gilroy. It's Tony Gilroy and his talented crew of writers, creatives, individuals bringing their A game and having actors that are at the top of their game from Europe, and British actors who are at the top of their game, just like, you know, actually selling it, you know, because this is like Star Wars on like a level I don't think we've seen since, I want to say, Clone Wars, when Clone Wars was good. One of the major things about Andor that I love story-wise is the idea of moving away from Jedis, moving away from Baby Yoda, moving away from the Force, any other like mythical external Star Wars thing, and just focusing on the normal characters that started the rebellion. Obviously, you got Cassian Andor and his journey from where he is at the start of Andor to where he is in the start of Rogue One. You also got characters like Luthen Rael, the Collector, that's kind of spearheading the rebellion sort of ish. Then you got Mon Mothma, who comes back from Rogue One. They gave her some interesting work here. I haven't seen this much like confidence, and like it feels like I'm getting smarter from watching Andor. I don't know why. I feel like I'm watching an elevated piece of like Star Wars media. There's some of the other side characters too, like Bix, the droid B2. Oh my god. He's so good, the droid in B2. Oh my god, it's so good. I love him. Marva, Andor's mom, she's great. Oh my, the actress, I forget her name, but I feel like I've seen her something before, but either way, she's incredible. She kills it. Guest actor Andy Serkis to play Kino, one of the guy in charge of Andor at the prison, and he kills it. I'm so glad they brought him back from playing Snoke to like do this little role. He's great. His entire arc in those 3 episodes is fantastic. You know, another thing I love about Andor, this is basically just me spitballing my Andor video stuff, is that it feels like they took real world stuff, like it, you know, this is Star Wars for people like me. This is the Star Wars show I needed, because it's adult. It doesn't hold your hand. It's not trying to like shove all these like references in your face and make you remember your childhood. It's trusting you to understand the material they're writing. If you do, it's great. It's wonderful, it's beautiful. But if you're the kind of guy that's looking for these Easter eggs, these references, these callbacks, these like Leonardo DiCaprio point meme moments, you're not gonna find too many of those in the show. And it kind of tells you up front. I feel like it kind of like explains it to you, like, this is not that kind of show. I feel like some people that may write the show off because it's not like glup shadowing them every like 30 minutes or like 10 seconds. But I think if you stick with it, it's very good. It is a little slow. I will admit, it's a tiny bit slow, but it's like a deliberate slow. It's not like I want to just skip over to the action. It's slow and like you gotta like take all this in. They're trying really hard to like show you how to like take it all in, how you watch the show, but you just sit back and relax. It's not your typical like 30-minute nostalgia romp, and then with funny little quip joke here and there, we move on to the next scene. Each scene is important. Each dialogue is important. It's real. I think Tony Gilroy said this. If it's not real, then we got a problem. If it doesn't feel real, then we need to fix it. And it really shows in how like smart the scripts are for Andor. Like, they're very intelligent. It feels like intelligent people making a Star Wars show, which feels like an insult to like the other Disney Plus shows. So let me clarify. I don't think anybody working on those shows is dumb. I just think watching Andor is like, after watching Andor, it doesn't look good. But I swear to God, I'm not calling them stupid. I don't think they're stupid. I don't. I don't think they're stupid. But anyway, go watch Andor. Please watch Andor. The season 1 finale airs November 23rd, Wednesday, November 23rd, and they've already worked. They're working on the season 2, which is the final season right now. So now is probably the best time to jump into Andor. Again, Andor is just such a good show. It's such a breath of fresh air for Star Wars fans. If you're an older Star Wars fan and is kind of like a little bummed out by all the recent Star Wars shows and Star Wars media out there, I promise you Andor is 100% worth it. Please watch Andor. It's the best of Star Wars. It's the best of Star Wars. And I will be making a more like deeper dive into Andor. Not now though. That's going to take a minute. Maybe next year. Thank you for watching this heavily unscripted, probably not too great video from me. I'm going to try and do another. The next video is going to definitely be an edited one. I hope you have a fantastic day, night, afternoon, week, month, year, decades, and stay safe. And 2 words: watch Andor.